Welcome to Campfire Tales, as the march to Drezen begins. They knelt before the flame and light, and crowned her name in steel that night. No crown or cloak, just purpose raw, a sorceress bound by Serenray's law.
Alright there, sure, mate Yoki here. Welcome you back to our evening show, where we are looking at Pathfinder, Wrath of Righteous, my final attempt to complete this game. Let's continue. We have defeated all the demons and cultists in Kenabres, unless there's a little pocket here or there hanging out somewhere. And so it's time for us to head out of the Grey Garrison, celebrate and move on. Now I did screw up a little bit on what I did with Mythic Pass, because I meant to give Darren second mystery so he could get a pet to bolster our front rank. Unfortunately I screwed that up and gave him extra spells. Oopsie. Let's get rid of some heavy stuff until we are down at a level where we can move on. There we are. Back at the Defender's Heart.
Make way. Warrior Queen coming through with a round for the heroes. Whoa, the heart is packed. And you considered nixing this little shindig, Beth?
When Anivia reaches a long table your party is gathered round, she heavily flops onto the bench and hands out the tankards of beer.
I did consider it, and I am still considering it. It hasn't even been a week since the last demon was booted out of Kenabres, and we really should be in a period of mourning for all the city's fallen. But the people deserve to celebrate, and she deserves to be honored for saving the city and possibly all of Mendov.
I didn't do it alone. That was one. Yeah, we did it together.
But someone did more than the rest of us. Don't deny your achievements. There will always be plenty of miserable folk only too happy to tear you down.
I'm not denying anything, Anivia. I worked hard, but so did y'all.
According to the Watch reports, there has been no demon activity whatsoever outside Kenabres. I get the feeling the fiends are as shocked by what happened as we are. What happened in the garrison, what you did, it was a miracle. I truly believe that the gods remembered us and decided to intervene.
Maybe I did have a little help from Serenray.
Beth,
My goddess, not that I am a day.
No serious business today.
Let's face it, we ended what Ayamade had done.
All right, I'm done. No more. Who would have thought we'd be celebrating a successful attack on the Grey Garrison, our own fortress, and that we'd blow the roof off the place?
It's simply unforgivable.
Comes a cheerful voice from someone sitting at the far corner of the table. Who's that?
While we're on the topic of the roof, there's already a rumor going around that you have been blessed by Iomade herself.
Nonsense.
And it was her power granted to you that destroyed the garrison's walls and roof. And it turns out the people want a little piece of that blessing for themselves. The townsfolk are gathering chunks of the garrison's rubble as souvenirs and talismans. And I'm sure they'll hit the black market soon enough. Oh, yeah. Here, read on this for me. For good luck.
Fair enough. If you want a little luck symbol, you can have it. We need all the luck we can have.
Thanks. I'll put it on display at home. Or maybe I'll make a hole in it and wear it as a pendant.
Nevi! What are you on about now?
What do you mean? Do you see many people at this table who've been personally blessed by Ayomide herself?
Not me, I'm Saturn-Ray's girl.
Well, a couple perhaps.
Aliana is. Say the same mirthful voice that joined in before.
Iomede's blessings are not conveyed through stones, and as public officials, we really shouldn't.
Irabeth looks to the end of the table where the voice originated, and her eyes widen as the words trail off.
I feel a little chastened after what you said about public officials. But I myself have acquired a few pieces of stone and also wish to ask our heroine to breathe on them for good luck. So, what now? Are you going to toss me out of this fine establishment?
The woman dressed in unshowy finery raises her eyebrows.
Your Majesty.
Yes, it is I. I made the journey here to deduct the cost of repairing the garrison roof from your salary. We have not been introduced. Galfrey of Mendev.
Now, even from the start, it was saying I wasn't lawful, I was good. And as anyone who saw the last one will have heard, when it announced the choice that had been made for which pull on the mythic path the first level would give us, which trade or whatever, the overwhelming presence of death is starting to tug at me, tug at her. I am not moved by Galfrey at all. She has not stopped the killing in 4 previous crusades. The Queen has graced us with her presence, I see.
As you can see, yes, I am here.
The Queen notices your act of disrespect but passes no comment, only quirking a brow and giving the tiniest of smiles.
Your Majesty, we were just... I'll have them arrange.
Sit down, Irabeth.
Calm yourself, Commander. I deliberately came here without any fanfare because I did not wish to draw attention away from our honored heroine here. My personal guard and the force I brought with me are standing watch outside the city. I ordered all of your sentries to stand down. They also deserve a break.
At least you've done something
Every
decent.
person who tirelessly fought to save Kenabres will enjoy themselves today. And my reinforcements will ensure peace and order.
Don't know if I want her as part of it, but... You know, we're here celebrating while demons might be planning the next campaign.
Oh, I do not doubt that, even for a moment. But we will not give them another chance to catch us off our guard. It is time to turn back the tide.
Then at least we agree on something.
Your Majesty, my dear cousin.
Karen.
Count, I admit I was surprised to learn that you valiantly joined the ranks of the city's defenders. Pleasantly surprised.
I live to please you, my queen. My first thought when Daskari cruelly robbed us of noble Terendelev and half of Kenabres' crusaders in one fell swoop was of you, my queen, and of how these events would weigh heavily on you. No
Yeah,
one
you were
could
celebrating
have
it.
foreseen the demon attack, and we have so successfully held the defense here for 4 heroic crusades.
I'm going to drown him in the nearest well this very night.
I value your dedication and your eloquence. I hope you will continue to aid our soldiers.
The Queen gives him a genuine smile.
Not a chance. You know that I am not made for the front lines. Excellent, Bash, but alas, I really must go. Important matters to be getting on with. A new shipment of wine from Keonin, and 3 beautiful creatures of the same provenance. But I will most assuredly come to say my farewells before your army departs on its campaign, which, wherever it may lead you, will undoubtedly be crowned with victory.
You are right about that.
I shall hold you to that, Count. And now allow me to devote some time to the heroine of the evening. I did not come here solely to give you the chance to celebrate, But all serious discussions and official announcements can wait until tomorrow. I have big plans for all of you. Especially for you. But I want to keep you in suspense for a little while longer. So I shan't say another word. Let us mark this victory. My first toast is to you, the heroine of Kenabres.
Now, what are we drinking? Don't know why I skipped that bit.
The fires of Kenabres have died down. Now the army's path leads to the walls of Drezen, a fallen citadel that the Crusaders have been trying in vain to reclaim for 70 years. The new piece on the board might give their efforts some added momentum.
You know it. And the mongrel is a curious sight, even for the distorted land of the world wound. First camp outside the city. Or outside, yeah, the city of Kenabres, not town, I guess. Is that her next word of Beth? The hero. The queen is coming, the queen!
Rise,
And they all kneel.
warriors. Today is a day of sorrow and pride. Sorrow because we weep for our brothers and sisters who perished in Kenabres. Pride because despite demonic treachery, our heroes repelled the attack and saved the city. I, Queen Golfrey of Mendev, declare this day the first day of the 5th Crusade. And I am glad to introduce the one who will lead the attack on the forces of the Abyss. The hero of Kenabres, Knight Commander of the 5th Crusade. Your leader from now unto victory or death. And now it's time to rest. Everyone is dismissed.
Run, return to your orders, camps. You heard the queen dismissed.
There. The troop review is finished. I'll give you some time to look around the camp, and then I shall expect your presence at headquarters.
Was there even any point to doing a thing like that? We have demons to hunt. Commander, please allow me to join you while you inspect our encampment. Firstly, we have the storyteller here. The old elf smiles when he hears your footsteps. Allow me to congratulate you on your victory and on acquiring mythical powers capable of casting down the strongest of demons. Please examine the items I'm carrying. Perhaps one of them could tell a story. Storyteller nods politely. Let me touch them and I'll see what I can see. Storyteller friggles with a fragment of gold buckle. An old thing, created long ago by divine will. But the power that gave birth to it is lost in the darkness. However, the relic still lives on, though it has changed. I wonder what secret it is hiding. Would you like to know? Bring me 5 vials of magic essence, and I will revive the object, and with it, its story. The elf looks at you with unusual patience. Shall we see? We've talked about Radiance and Finian, but we do have what he wants. The elf cautiously uncorks the vials and begins to work his enchantments. The essence evaporates, turning into light that streams onto the buckle. The light thickens, becoming gold. The Covenant of the Inheritor. That is the name of this relic. The buckle once adorned the helm of a glorious knight from Mendev. It is the embodiment of a promise made to a young girl by a powerful deity. A great promise that has changed much in the world. So we've got the Covenant of the Inheritor. When you touch a restored relic, a strange vision comes to you. It's as if you can see the events that happened to it in its past. A burning sensation spreads across your chest from the very spot where your mysterious wound sometimes opens. What is this? The influence of the storyteller spells or something else? I had a vision. The old elf frowns. How strange. You are a remarkable mortal. No one has ever shared my visions before. What do you think caused it? Perhaps these things have something to do with your destiny, or the fate of someone related to you. I do not have an answer, only advice. Seek out such relics. Look for what links them all, and you will know the truth. We have more important things to do now, storyteller. Return with new stories. I will be waiting. I found this page last one in the Grey Garrison. The storyteller carefully takes a page from your hands. His fingers touch the ancient letters gently, examining them lightly, following their lines. I see myself. Young, energetic, able to see. Oh gods, have I found the key to my past? Finally, I will be able to see what my mind has been hiding from me. The elf's expression becomes withdrawn. The wrinkles on his face soften. Thank you, Eliana Solshade, and please, follow me to my story. Let us embark on this journey together. The storyteller inhales sharply a few times and begins his story. They are leaving. The people of Keonin faced a coming earthfall and admitted that they were incapable of handling the disaster. Proud rulers, artful crafters, brave warriors, wise mages, and skilled healers. All of them hurried to the gate of Savinian, looking around fearfully. A clean, safe world is waiting for them there. My people decided not to fight for Gladian. I am ashamed, and I am sorry for them. Their hearts wavered in the face of the catastrophe, but my will is strong. I am staying. My kinfolk are looking at me angrily. How dare I diminish their decision with my recklessness? My choice makes them cowards, traitors to their own home. One of them, my former mentor, looks at me bitterly. He hands me a neat notebook with a tree bark cover, in case you change your mind. With a heavy sigh, he returns to the line of those departing. Forgive me, brothers and sisters. I watch the gate of Savinian stone close, separating me from them. It's time for me to go too. I open my master's notebook. These are his notes about travelling between worlds, in case you change your mind. He hopes the burden I shouldered voluntarily will be too much. I will lose heart and find my way to Savinian. That will never happen. My mouth set stubbornly, I tear my master's notebook to pieces. I use my forced pride as a shield against my fear and what is to come. Why did the elves decide to flee, not fight? Storyteller's lips purse in disdain. They are afraid to lose what they have. They were rulers, long-lived and powerful. They valued their lives and sunshine too much to enter the fight with the aftermath of Earthfall. Your mentor is a mage, then you must be too, yes? Yes, I am an archmage, and this title is well deserved. I have acquired delicate mastery and succeeded in many areas of magic. But curiosity has always pushed me towards new knowledge, since the first day of my apprenticeship. What is the Savinian stone? A mysterious crystal bent into an arch by a mighty hand of an ancient divine creator. Our great gate to other worlds. It breathes power. It dreams of eternity. Why are you angry at your fellow elves? I spent many hundreds of years in Keonin. I have always admired the way my kinfolk cared for the forest that was their home. But the rest of the world seemed to mean nothing to them. But I love Galarian. All its places, all the forms it manifests in. I travelled widely, and then came home and told my kinfolk about my travels, but they weren't interested. They only cared about Keonin. Their lack of desire to hear about the wider world makes me sad and angry. So what happened next, storyteller? Earthfall happened at night. I am standing on top of my tower many miles to the north of Keonin, and I see a blaze far in the south. I hear a horrendous rumble. The air is groaning, giving way to a huge rock, rushing down on my world, and then a blow, vibration that penetrates everything, reaching down into the bowels of Galarian, and up to the vaults of the sky. Crunching bones, blood from burst vessels, filling my eyes with darkness, drowning in timelessness, along with countless denizens of Galarian. Never before have we been so united in our feelings. When I come around, the darkness remains. My first terrible thought, I'm blind. But no, little by little I begin to see the stone wall. I am alive. But why is it so dark? The answer is quick. The smell of ash everywhere. The great burnt sacrifice filled the air with incinerated particles of what was recently the continent of Aslant. Great clouds of ash covered the sky, cutting us off from the sun and the moon, dooming us to the dark at day and complete darkness at night. Sorry, dusk at day, I misread. My heart sinks with fear. Treacherous thoughts fill my mind. Why did I stay? Why didn't I run like everyone else when I had the chance? I clench my teeth and stand up to watch Earthfall, proudly like the last Archmage of Achaeon should. Will my world really perish like this? Will I perish? No, that will never happen. I am still alive and I can fight Earthfall and the darkness. Not run from it in a blind panic like my kinfolk and my cowardly teacher. But what can I do? I will not stop this disaster. I will hardly be able to save empires from their destruction. What can I do? I am but one Archmage, powerful and weak at the same time. What is Earthfall? A disaster of untold proportions. An unborn planet dropped on Galarian by blind fate or someone's evil will. A blow so strong that the continent of Aslant is destroyed within moments, turned to ash, wiped off the face of Galarian. In this burnt sacrifice, clouds of ash and dust are born, stealing our sun. Without the warmth of our star, the air cools. The soil is barren. Dark creatures crawl out from the blaze to rule. And the worst thing of all, the frightening thing, without the sun, all hope dies in the heart. This is the age of darkness. What was the tower you mentioned? It's my retreat to the north of Keonen, my home away from home, my observatory. From its top, I watched the stars, and when they were correctly aligned, the other worlds as well. Here in the northern wastelands, I found the highest mountain, and built a tower at the top of it. On clear days, I could see the mist over the lake of mists and veils in the in the east, sorry. That's how high I was. What are you going to do next? I don't know. I need to think. My opponent's Earthfall is much stronger than me. Without noticing, the storyteller raises his voice to a shout. It is merciless. It does not simply destroy life. It kills an era, ending the greatness of Galarian civilizations. They will sink into oblivion, be forgotten, as if they never existed. I need to think. The elf suddenly winces and is silent for a few moments, as he calms his heavy breathing. Forgive me, I shouldn't have raised my voice. The story was much harder than many before it, most likely because I played the main role in it. It's so strange to see myself, feel the emotions tearing me up inside, those that I felt a long time ago, and not remember them. It's like I split. I became both the storyteller and the main character. Too bad the story ended at that moment. Please, if you find other pages covered with ancient writing on your travels, bring them to me. I might be able to shed some light on my past, and we will find out how my story ended, and perhaps even why I forgot. Thank you for your stories. Thank you for helping me remember them. I think we talked about the past. Yeah, so thank you for stories. Okay, that more about you is also greyed out. Have you decided to join the Crusade? I have decided not to, I'm afraid. My path and the path of the Crusade lead into the same direction, but alas, they are not yet the same. After the demons were driven away from Kenabres, the path onto the World Wound became open, if only temporarily. I'm planning on using this opportunity to visit. The elf falls silent. It doesn't matter now. You mean your tower, don't you? I'd hate to bore you with the details of my venture, which may prove useless, even for myself. However, I'll try to return to the Crusaders and aid them in their confrontation with the demons after I'm done. I hope to meet you again in this world rather than the next. I have to go, storyteller. I wish you interesting adventures. And that is that. Hang on, what have I done there? There we are. Come on. These are the Knights of Kenabres. All that's left of the ones that were billeted in the city. These are the, well, a group of soldiers talking loudly, laughing joyfully, and passing around a flask. So picture this, my sword is in the fire, there's 2 goblins about to snatch it, and 3 more are digging through my tent. And I'm sat in the bushes, wearing just a mail shirt, wondering what the blast to do. An old mercenary taught me about the mail shirt. You can't sleep in armour, but it's not so bad in mail, once you get used to it. Too bad no one told me not to go to the bushes without my sword. So what did you do? What did I do? I barked like crazy. Goblins are afraid of dogs, you know. So they all went wild and started running around. I spot my sword and they spot me, so I jumped over the fire, wearing nothing but my mail shirt, and I grabbed my sword and yelled in my big tough voice, "Oh, Inheritor, grant me the power to crush these filthy creatures." My sword's shining and the goblins are screaming. I jumped to attack them and they fight back, but I fought them off somehow. Best ever, but ever since then, I never take a step without my weapon. Sealer takes a sip from a flask. That's some story. Hey, stop gulping, leave some for us. You've only just set off and you're already drinking. And with the Queen in the camp, stop this at once. The knights quickly snap to attention. Sealer raises the flask and says loudly, "Right you are, Commander Tirabade. We are but drinking to the Queen's health." "Give me a sip too, to Her Majesty's health." Elizabeth rubs her forehead with the palm of her hand. "Commander, are you sure this is the right way to train your soldiers?" "Never mind, it's your business." And then we have up here. Oh. Grandma Gretel, the director. A well-dressed old dwarf is lecturing a motley company, shaking a ladle at them belligerently. Noticing you, she flings up her hands. "Good afternoon, Commander, you commanding us. Do you remember us? We're the crew from the next door theatre company, the one you saved in Kenabres. Back when you weren't your commanding us yet. As you can see, we've come on the campaign with you. We signed up to clean pots and mend the soldiers' clothes. Keeping up the theatre is expensive, so we all have to take side jobs. But we don't stop at what we're doing. We're going to put up on a play about your legendary feats. Of course, the crowd scenes are difficult. We can't find the people to play the hordes of demons, and we decided against using a ritual to summon the real demons. Good. Luckily, we have Master Kem. He invented a way to solve this problem using sound. We caught a pig and some piglets who ran away from a burned-out village. The glum and husky half-orc mumbles softly. We put the piglets in a box and scare them a little, and the sound they make is just like an approaching demon horde. But the most important question is, of course, choosing the lead actor who will play the Great Knight Commander. We had a right Barney over it, breaking a number of lances as well as a shovel, a rolling pin, and a set of back scratchers. But we just couldn't decide no matter what. Maybe you can help us. We have 2 candidates that are most suited to the role. One will have to have the honour of conveying your heroism upon the stage, Commander. So we've got a gnome and a cyclops. And to be played by a gnome. Not a gnome, 2 gnomes, Rumbledum and Harryfant, are twins. One of them sits on the other's shoulder and puts on a long coat so they can play tall characters. They switch places every so often, so each gets their moment of fame. And that way they each only have to learn half the script. A Cyclops actor? He's completely tame, believe me. Has a few issues with articulation, but what a powerful physique. We'll make him a nice costume, wash him up, brush his hair. Truth be told, in our show, you mainly just make short heroic exclamations at the fateful moment, like "onward," or "we'll never give up," or "my heart burns with courage." Lambkin can definitely handle the script. Alright, I've made my decision. Let's have Lambkin do it, big and bold. He likes that. Wonderful. Sorry we took you away from all the important things heroes and commanders do. We're off to rehearsal. First we'll wash some pots, then we're off to a rehearsal. Let's go, you lazy lumps. Don't embarrass old Grandma now. Alright. Sounds good to me. Oh, and we found Darren. Oh, there you are, you dashing troublemaker, you. Darren flashes you a self-satisfied smile. Our short acquaintance is coming to an end. Very soon you'll depart on your crusade, where you'll scrape by on horrible rations, struggle vainly to fall asleep amid snoring soldiers, be rudely awoken by freezing cold, and have to look upon the dour faces of self-righteous prigs, before you finally perish in the maw of some demon. I have a journey ahead of me too. I've just rented a sailboat in the south. I've also hired an excellent chef, and a host of other entertainers. Well, each to their own, I suppose. Darren pauses, then suddenly adds in a more serious tone. You know, I am genuinely sad to see you go. If it sounds like mockery, forgive me, I cannot switch off my venom gland on a whim, you see. But you intrigue me. If only we could have spent a little time together. But of course, Darren grimaces, not under these conditions. Let the Crusaders and the demons have at each other. With any luck, they'll take this entire sanctimonious spectacle down with them. You know, I would have liked if you stayed. You intrigue me too with your trollish attitude. Darren's eyes light up a little. He's obviously pleased by your attention. Yet he answers in his typical mocking tone. Alas, life is full of disappointments. I must reject your offer. In any case, I intend to wait until the army departs. I do love a good send-off. Especially when it is I who will be staying and someone else who is heading off to meet a dreary and hopeless end. Sometimes it does one good to ruminate on the unfairness of life. Well, then farewell, Commander. I assume I shall be your most precious memory on this most disgusting and exhausting road to pointless slaughter and battle. Or if not the most precious memory, then at least the most stirring. Darren smirks before instantly losing all interest in you. Or at least he pretends to. These are the fights of the Eagle Watch. I personally chose every one of them that's standing here, and I'm ready to vouch for each of them. Oh, and there's a quartermaster. But I need to check something first there. Yes, 3 cheers for the commander. Now answer my questions. Where are all the mail shirts? According to the paperwork, we're supposed to have 50. I personally deposited the money for them in the army's treasury. Wilson Arms. The burly soldier with an impressive beard greets you with a broad smile. Wilson Arms, a camp quartermaster at your service. How may I help you? Tell me about yourself. The quartermaster looks away sheepishly. There isn't much to tell, really. I was born in Kenabres in a humble family. I got an education, taught myself to read and write. Got drafted into the army, spent 3 years as a shield bearer in the first line. I left after I did my time and joined the Stonemasons Guild. Then moved on to the shipwrights and rose to a crew chief. Sailed to Ayabaria twice and returned with goods. Made some money, built a house, but haven't started a family yet. I think I will after we're done with this war. But a few years ago something started gnawing at me. I got this feeling like I needed to go home, that there was some storm heading for my native city. And when there's trouble in Mendev, there's only one thing to do. You go to the recruiter and sign up to join the army, and so I did. First they wanted to make me an infantry sergeant, but then they decided I'd be a better fit in the supply department. I can take care of army property, and I'm pretty handy around the warehouse, not to mention I know how to manage a band of helpers. And so that's how I became a quartermaster. Wilson gives you a smile and shrugs, as if this was a wholly unremarkable story typical of any crusader. What are your duties in camp? A little bit of everything. What's an officer to a soldier? A strict father. So what does that make the quartermaster like myself? Something like their mum, that's what. I make sure the lads have everything they need to defeat the enemy and come back from battle in one piece. Wilson starts ticking off on his fingers. Means food, firewood, medicine, tents, mended clothes, fixed weapons. The horses have got to be fed and watered, the camp's got to be fortified by evening and broken up in the morning. I make sure the wages are paid on time, and the wagon wheels don't squeak. And then there are reports. God, until you asked, I never realised how many duties he's actually had. What do the soldiers think of their new commander, Wilson? They mostly tell tales about your unusual power, but they don't shy away from talking about you as a person too. Soldiers are always like that. If Iomade herself descended from heaven, you bet they'd jabber on about how she grips a sword, and how good she looks in her armour. Word is that you possess some special magic, and know spells that no one's ever seen in Mendeb before. People say you can do all sorts of stunts. Turn into a dragon, throw lightning bolts, fly across the sky, and that you specialise in this one spell that lets you carouse and make love all night long without ever flagging. I don't know where they got that last one from. You'd think they weren't righteous warriors of light, but come on, soldiers. Wilson says with a genial smile. Show me what you have, Wilson. That's what he has, but more importantly, what do I have? Not going to be using blocker. Don't think we're using bulky pick. None of us are using a size right now. In fact, I don't see any of us using any of these right now. We'll keep them just in case. Won't remember to use blur. I won't remember enlarge person. You know, I'll keep them just in case as any of my mages need to study them. And then it's time to go talk to the Queen. The Queen greets you with a stare. She has dropped the pompous air with which she just announced the 5th Crusade. The face of the ruler of Mendeb appears calm and thoughtful. She has made her move and now awaits her opponent's reply.
Commander, I'm satisfied with the troop review, but I do not expect they will be sufficient for the task. You will have to prove yourself a shrewd leader and hire the necessary troops with the provided funds.
Yep.
I have chosen a target for your campaign, and that target is Drezen, our lost outpost within the World Wound. The Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that was once carried by Iomade herself. Our greatest relic was lost when the city fell. I should make one thing clear from the start. The Sword of Valor is no mere symbol, but a powerful weapon against demons. The holiness of the banner weakens them and robs them of one of their most dangerous abilities, teleportation.
Then we shall get it back.
A forced march to Drezen awaits you. The Sword of Valor is kept somewhere within the Citadel. The demons probably think it's a hunting trophy. Its recovery is just as important as retaking the city itself. I hope the task is clear.
Yep.
I'm sending 2 specialists to help you, along with the soldiers. A historian, Nura Denduar, and a cleric, Soziel Danik.
The Queen nods to the human man and the young halfling woman standing next to her.
One of the famous inquisitors of the Church of Iomade also wants to talk to you. The Honorable Leota, whom everyone calls Hawkblade.
I've heard the name.
I do not wish to keep you, Commander. The matter I must discuss with you is extremely important. but it is not directly related to the Crusade. You no doubt wish to meet your new comrades and speak with Her Majesty. Therefore, I shall leave you now, but I ask that you seek me out in the camp at your earliest convenience.
I'll talk to you.
Hi! Listen, it's amazing here. It's like I'm in a ballad. There's knights in shining armor, deadly dangers, glorious feats. We are going to show those demons. I'm so tired of sitting in a library reading books about history. It's time I took part in it.
Fair enough, you will become history.
I'm glad to help our cause, Commander. If you have some time later, I'd like to speak with you further.
Okay.
You'll have plenty of time to talk. You're the Knight Commander's people now, her trusted advisors and companions. Now then, will you please leave us? Irabeth, you can go too.
When we met in the Defender's Heart, I never imagined you'd make me the commander of the new crusade. Not that I'm arguing with the decision.
Some actions may be deemed bold, or even extreme. And beyond those, there are some you might call the Queen's last resort. I am not a simple monarch. I am at war with the Abyss, a war which has lasted over 100 years. I cannot allow myself the luxury of caution. In you, I see a chance, and I am willing to stake everything on it.
Good.
However, you cannot blame me for putting you in charge of the crusade. I only formalized what had already happened in the hearts and minds of many. People spoke of the power that descended upon you and helped you save the Wardstones from corruption and total destruction. Word of this feat quickly spread far beyond the borders of Mendev. There was no other person who could better fit the role of Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
I have some questions about my mission to Drezen.
Of course. I shall answer.
Now we know how they took Drezen. It was idiot Staunton Vane. What force are at my disposal?
Everyone we saw today at the parade. First among them, the Eagle Watch, who remain a powerful force thanks to Irabeth's resourcefulness. Also marching with you are several minor knightly orders, as the minor volunteer units like to be called. And finally, I have personally selected some recruits from Neurosian. They have little in the way of battle experience, but great determination and a thirst to prove themselves. I've always thought that an army benefits from at least one such unit.
Fireball fodder, then, you mean?
These forces, as I said, are not enough for a march on Drezen. You will have to hire additional troops with the funds that have been provided to you. But for a brave commander, and I hope you are one, that is just the beginning. If you retake Drezen, recover the holy power of the Sword of Valor, and gain a foothold in the region, then new armies will join under your banner. The Fifth Crusade is only beginning. Many battles and victories lie ahead.
See, it's been decades and no one has managed to retake the city. Why do you think we're different? I know we're different. I don't need to ask. What about long-term goals? Do you know how to get rid of the world wound forever?
Now you are talking like a real Knight Commander. However, answering your question is not easy. To win this war, we must bar the demon's way. There are a few planar rifts leading to the Abyss across the territory we call the World Wound. The best specialists we could find have tried to close them on separate occasions, with no success, as you may have guessed. The World Wound is more than just a chain of portals to the Abyss. We do not understand its nature yet. The methods of rift closure known to magical science simply do not work here. However, we have a hypothesis, and a rather well-grounded one, that we must begin at the source of the problem, the place where the World Wound was opened. The main rift lies through the city of Iz and the Threshold Fortress, deep in the former lands of Socorus. We have never managed to fight our way so far and gain a foothold to allow the Magus to explore the origins of the World Wound. So, the next step, after you succeed in Drezen, is an offensive push deeper into the World Wound, with the aim of reaching Threshold. The very threshold of the Abyss.
I don't disagree with it. No more questions.
Wonderful.
Well, none about the mission to Drezen. Did you know about the souls of the angels from heaven were on finding the Wardstone.
I had guessed as much. Many angels fought alongside us in the First Crusade. Heaven was unable to mobilize its full might to aid us, but individual Celestials volunteered to fight for our cause. Then one day, they all vanished, saying that they were setting off on an important mission. Not long after, Iomede's herald erected the first Wardstone in Kenabres, and then the others in cities across Mendev. Even back then, I had nagging doubts, but my faith in Iomede easily assuaged them. It is for us to serve the goddess after all, not to question her works.
I do not serve your goddess.
In any case, I am glad you did not allow the demons to commit sacrilege and gain control over the Wardstone in Kenabres. We might have lost one of the Wardstones, but the chain is still standing.
Should know I received unusual gifts in the cave below Kenabres. In a vision I saw the death of an angel called Ariel. Somehow he was able to grant me the ability to reveal the light of heaven.
Lariel. I knew him. He disappeared shortly before the world wound grew, and Drezen fell into the enemy's hands. In the chaos, we had more important concerns than investigating the fate of a single angel. Even one so righteous and beloved as Lariel. And afterward, matters took a turn for the worse. The angels left us to go on this special mission. It is so strange to hear the names I used to hear when I was young, like getting a message from the past. It is sad news, but it brings me back to the times when we strongly believed in our victory, and we rushed headlong toward it without fear. Could it be that such times have come again?
I will not fear, I will achieve. What are you gonna do?
Overlooking a spot of insubordination just at the moment. However, I shall answer you. I shall prepare the defenses at Nerosian and all the other border cities and plan the future of the Fifth Crusade. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Knight Commander?
Does the Church of Iomede really spend so much effort prolonging your life, Queen, just so you can watch the battle from the rear? The living banner of the Crusaders, and your duty is on the front line.
I'm since anyone tried to talk to me quite like that. Like an interrogator at a trial.
The Queen seems astonished, but not outraged. She fixes her piercing eyes on you.
I don't know if you realize what you're suggesting. If our enemies in the depths of the wound were to discover that I was with your army, they would immediately send their most vicious demons to attack. They would stop at nothing to be rid of me, and thereby sow chaos across Mendev.
So what, you're gonna sit back like a coward?
But you are right. I shouldn't be sitting it out in the rear. I am a warrior queen, and a queen of warriors. Yet my fighters have forgotten what I look like. Fine. I shall join the crusade, but on my own terms. First, I shall assemble my entourage and lead the parade out of the camp. I shall catch up with you later, along with a few hand-picked bodyguards. We'll change our armor, and I'll become a knight of a minor order and join the troops incognito.
Fair enough.
Until we approach Drezen, no one should know I am among you. But before we storm the city, I shall show myself to the troops and join the battle.
I can live with
Let
that.
it be a surprise for the demons. I hope you won't complain of my company on the road, Commander, since you were the one who insisted upon it.
I was.
Do you have any other questions?
You're not seeing the Covenant of the Inheritor, that's mine. And the task is clear.
Splendid. Ah, yes. We have one final matter to attend to. It should be rather enjoyable. Count, there you
Darren,
are.
welcome
You
back.
received my instruction?
I did, though I did not have time to read the thing before I was dragged before your majesty. In truth, I was readying myself to depart.
No matter. I trust you will forgive your sovereign for the rather brusque summons, especially when you learn what prompted it. As you are aware, she has recently been appointed my Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. I spent a long while pondering whom to appoint to the highly sensitive post of Commander's Field Attaché and Advisor Plenipotentiary without portfolio. Congratulations, Count.
What an important role for your Count. Looks like you might be staying around.
It is a great honor, I suppose.
Darren's cool expression wavers, but he seems not to be fully cognizant of what is happening. That, or he's holding himself tightly in check. What a wonderful gesture, Your Majesty. I imagine our dear Count would have been inconsolable if you hadn't given him this chance to serve the common cause.
I knew you would approve, Commander.
The Queen bestows a smile on you, then brings her gaze to rest on Darren once more.
I had my doubts about whether you were ready for such a responsibility, Count, but your conduct in Kenabres has put my mind at ease. So, you will travel with the troops to Drezen. Only the commander may remove you from your post, but I trust that you will dutifully fulfill her orders and make a good showing of yourself. Especially since word of your appointment, Count, will reach the court at any moment. All of Mendev's nobility will be following your successes in service to the nation, including all of your devoted admirers. I even heard that one bard with whom you are particularly friendly has already begun composing a ballad to honor your heroic participation in the crusade and your faithful service to the commander here.
There you go, Count. What more could you ask for?
Your largesse truly knows no bounds, dear cousin. I am most gratified by the honor you have shown me.
The Count offers a bow either as a sign of respect or in order to hide his flushed face. Only the barest quaver can be heard in his voice.
Then let's get going. May Ayomade help us.
Anevia sweeps an inquisitive glance over you. So tell me straight, how'd that brawl at the Grey Garrison end? I heard the rumours, of course. That's kind of my job, you know, to listen. But you've got no idea what the cobblers and crusades say about you. Some say that Ayomade came to you and appointed you a herald. Others say that you died, and an honest-to-God's angel is now leading the army, disguised as you. Still others say it was just an explosion at an alchemist lab, and I'm the one spreading rumours about your powers. I wish. But you know, you really haven't changed since the Grey Garrison. It's hard to describe, but you've become kinda... Anevia waves a hand, trying to find the word. More dangerous? Yeah, exactly. More dangerous. I have a good instinct about these things. If I didn't, I'd already be dead. You're dangerous, Commander, and by Desna, I hope you'll be dangerous to our enemies and not to us, or to yourself. I gotta go. Alright, you watch yourself now. And I gotta check something. Well, I have some things to pick up in here, I think. Much of which can probably be sold for some more money. Probably stuff outside as well.
Our path leads on.
Well, there's Leota. Get this stuff first. See what Holden's boy has to say. Commander, tall man with piercing yellow-green eyes, gives you a brief nod. Let me personally congratulate you on your new title and thank you for your time in advance. I am Leota Hawkblade, an Inquisitor of the Church of Ayomade, the bringer of light. I require your assistance in a certain delicate matter involving one of your companions, young Count Darren Arundel. What brings you here? I ask you to assist the Church of Ayomade in investigating an investigation of the utmost importance. I understand that the leader of the crusade has plenty of other matters to attend to, but please allow me to tell you the details. Perhaps it will explain why I'm calling upon you. The Inquisitor's open face instantly reveals his feelings. He frowns and looks through you, lost in his thoughts for a moment. I suppose that you've already heard about Count Arundel's story. I refer to the tragedy at Heaven's Edge estate. You're going to investigate the old case we have, again, aren't you? Yes, I am. I have several reasons to doubt that the widely shared account of what exactly happened at the estate and how it happened. You see, Commander, I was among those sent to examine the estate after the incident. I saw everything with my own eyes, and I still remember it clearly, even though it feels like it happened a lifetime ago. Heaven's Edge was a unique place that still carried the spirits of the old men dead before the world wound. And yet, on this day, it turned into a labyrinthine house of horrors, like something only seen in our nightmares. Apologies for the digression. I wanted to tell you about my suspicions. Everything about the incident seemed odd. Why was the only person left alive a young boy with a newfound talent for divine magic? Why was nobody sent to Kenabres for help, even though the agony spanned many hours? We found the demons dead with their heads cut off. And when we got into the estate, how were they defeated? How did the disease kill even paladins present in the estate, who are said to be immune to any disease? If the demon had found a way to penetrate the holy warrior's defences, why has this never been repeated since the tragedy at Heaven's Edge? You're the only person who can help me here, Commander, because the only living witness of those events is currently serving in your army. Your army's route will take you near the very edge of the tragedy. Heaven's Edge has been abandoned and sealed with potent magic throughout all these years, and only the Count has the power to break the seal. He is unlikely to invite an Inquisitor inside, and in any case, he won't like me sniffing around his family seat. But if you, as his commander, express your wish to visit the estate, he'll be obliged to fulfill it, and I will simply follow you as one of your attendants. There are 100 ways, 1,000 paths, and a myriad loopholes in human lives that the forces of evil can use to their advantage. I'm not sure which of those led the demons to the gates of Heaven's Edge, but I do know it wasn't a simple raid, the kind Crusaders face every day. That incident involved a significantly more powerful entity, and that is why I am asking your help. We cannot be sure that such tragedy will not happen again until we uncover the truth. You've already been to Heaven's Edge several times. What do you expect to find now? I was a young and inexperienced Inquisitor when I first visited Heaven's Edge 10 years ago. My skills have improved significantly since then, and I have paid dearly for that. WOTR makes a vague gesture, pointing at his scars. My arsenal includes many spells and techniques dedicated to gathering information about people and events. Almost all of them require me to be physically present at the place where the events in question happened. That is why I must return to Heaven's Edge. Why can't you just search the estate? Well, he said that only Drezen can undo it, so... Did you question Drezen himself? I did, but the Count insisted he couldn't remember anything about the incident due to a severe shock. He saw the demons at the very beginning, when they appeared in the celebration to announce the onset of the plague and mock their victims. He also witnessed the death of his mother, Countess Selena. That was all he would tell me. Leota pauses. We had found the young Count sleeping like a log on the floor in one of the rear chambers, having drunk about half the family wine cellar all by himself. There is no reason to disbelieve him on that matter. So you suspect that Drezen is hiding something? That he is to blame for the tragedy? I deliberately refuse to entertain any theories or suspicions, so that it doesn't affect the investigation. There is a saying among my colleagues that suspicion is the mother of prejudice, and prejudice is married to failure. I can only tell you that Count Arenday wasn't suffering from demonic possession, the most common malaise in our country at the time. Prelate Holdron himself examined the boy right after the tragedy, and he didn't sense anything awry with him. Fine, I'll help you. What do you need me to do? Leota bows his head to you with the exceptional reverence. Thank you, Commander. Now, I ask you to speak with the Count and tell him that you wish to see Heaven's Edge. Please do not inform him of my presence. Right away. I will join your escort when it is time to travel to the estate. When we get there, I will also require your help during the investigation. You will have to follow me, observing my actions as an independent witness. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me. I will remain here for a while. Are you one of Prelate Holdron's followers? Leona's face freezes for a moment and he nods. Yes, of course. Where were you during the attack? Well, we've been told he was outside. There's no point in asking more about Holden. Thank you for your answer. It's not an easy topic for me. I prefer not to discuss this game. Alright, I don't need to know more about him. He's looking for one thing, and it's a thing of merit.
I will guide us.
Hang on, there is something up here. Yeah, let's talk to Socio.
Hello again. I'm very pleased to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Certainly.
It's a pity I wasn't there at the Grey Garrison to witness your feats of strength with my own eyes. The flash, however, could be seen miles and miles away. Some people were frightened of it, thinking that the demons had blown up the remains of the keep. I, for one, knew immediately that it was a good sign. The light above the city showed us that there was still hope.
Who are you and how could you possibly have used to be army?
My name is Sozio Vanek. I am a cleric of Shaylin, the Eternal Rose and the Goddess of Beauty. Yes, I know that many people would consider me useless in a war.
Maybe a
This is
healer?
not a usual war, though. Just consider our enemy. The Abyss and his demons are the very embodiment of everything evil and ugly in the world. Perhaps a disciple of kindness and beauty might come in handy. I have no doubt that we will win this war, Commander. We just have to. It is our destiny. My role is to help you, and all those standing by your side in this struggle, to survive and flourish. Everyone deserves the chance to find peace and happiness in the world that they are defending so selflessly.
What is it you're painting? The cleric's eyes linger mournfully on the canvas. The unfinished painting depicts a temple crowned with a rainbow-tailed bird, the symbol of Shellin. 5 people dressed in robes stand before the temple. Men and women, young and old. They all gaze back at you with radiant happiness and joy in their serene eyes.
My brothers and sisters in faith. They sent me for help and then they saved my life, Commander. If the Prioress hadn't ordered me to escape the city and seek help, I would have died right along with them. Instead, I met Queen Galfrey on my way to Nerosian and hurriedly returned to Kenabres, only to find my friends dead on the steps of our desecrated temple.
Yeah.
I want to draw them the way they live on in my memory. Wise, beautiful, and loyal to their goddess and their city to the very end.
I need you to be useful. I hope you'll last longer than your brethren when the real battle begins.
Do not speak ill of them like that. They did everything they could. It's not their fault that the odds were so stacked against them.
They're stacked against all of us.
Now it's my duty to make sure my friends and tutors did not die in vain. I will honor their sacrifice by making this world a bit more beautiful and kind.
What made an artist enlist in the army?
Perhaps I am a true artist, or simply an amateur who defaces canvases in my spare time. My goddess is a patron of art, so painting is part of my prayer, and I put all my heart into my pieces. But I am a cleric above all else, so I must also tend to others. I went to war because here's where I'm most needed. Sure, I could be painting idyllic landscapes and offering empty prayers to my goddess, but that won't stop people from dying.
No, it won't.
My goddess has no tolerance for false piety.
Fair enough. That's the most thing I want to know. You want to discuss something with me, right?
Yes, I have a personal request. Before we undertake our journey and leave Kenabres behind, I would like to visit Martyr Zacharias' cemetery for a funeral. It's not far from here, and it's important. I would like to pay my respects to my friends from the Temple of Shaylin who died defending the city. Also, if it's not too much trouble, I would like you to come with me to honor their memory. Their friends and family will be at the funeral, and perhaps the commander's personal presence will bring them comfort. I know that you are burdened by many cares right now.
Yes, we are.
So I understand if you can't find the time. But if you could, I would be sincerely grateful.
Well, you may be a Shellonite, but it was nice meeting you, I suppose. We'll think about the funeral.
You must
We can
be
go
rather
briefly.
busy indeed. Leading a crusade all by yourself is no joke. I still believe that you are up to the task. This war has been raging for 100 years, but you've given us a chance at victory.
More weapons. We'll pop into the tent. Not really anything here. Yeah, a bunch of temples. Or a bunch. Oh, hang on. What is a little. Ah, it's that on race.
Without a doubt.
At least they've got a good goddess there. Let's pop in here, then we'll talk to Darren. Seen that one. Vasily? A stout old man with a fuzzy grey beard greets you with a deep bow. Well met, Commander. You've caused quite a stir. Everyone thought Kenabres was done for, but the gods had other plans. That was quite the blaze of the Grey Garrison. All the vermin running around with their tails between their legs. First about the boy. I don't think we need any of the other stuff. As long as he's there serving us, that's what matters. However, a couple of raised dead scrolls might be good. And these healing scrolls. Actually, we'll get them later. We'll just sell that right now. We might need to use coin for other things. There you are. I'd love to visit Heaven's Edge, see the Andre estate someday. Oh, I was just about to mention it myself. I've been thinking. Now that I'm the middle of this whole crusade nonsense, I simply must devise new ways to have fun. And with all the recent commotion, my birthday completely slipped my mind. What if we were to celebrate it at Heaven's Edge? It's not far from here, and you'll get to enjoy a banquet in a bona fide haunted house. Darren seems to have trouble getting the words out, which clearly indicates how rarely he has to ask for anything. Since you're my superior and I'm your advisor, I am obliged to ask your permission to leave for the festivities. I want to invite you to. I'm sure the commander can free up the afternoon while the soldiers are on leave. Why wouldn't he throw a banquet at the place where his family died? That's ridiculous. Alright, deal. Perfect. You'll have a ball, I'll make sure of it. Something strange flickers in Darren's smile. We know about Mendev. So how'd you like your new advisor role? Darren winces. You also enjoy poking with that stick, don't you? Imagine it me, a crusader. If my dearest cousin hoped to teach me a lesson, she managed it perfectly. An assignment I couldn't avoid without losing face. This idiotic journey leading straight into the demon's maws. I could have been on a pleasure boat right now with the loveliest songstress in Pitex, my arm, and a bottle of finest Keonan wine to keep us company. Incidentally, I blame you for all this. Darren lets out a sigh. Well, actually, I think Cousin Godfrey is to blame for everything that's happened to me, and I suppose some of my misdeeds could be considered my own fault, but I can hardly expect to take responsibility, can I? Certainly not. Therefore, I shall lay all the blame at your door, and plot my revenge. It gives you an innocent smile. I welcome it, Darren. I can play as rough as you can. Did you also receive a fraction of that unusual power? Looks like it. I genuinely hoped that getting away from you would be the end of it. If your gift truly did come from Iomedae, then giving me a smidgen of that power was a very subtle joke on her part. I had no idea that our divine Lightbringer of Mendev even had a sense of humour. Don't get me started on how many acts of sacrilege against her. And that obscene engraving, the truth about the test of the Starstone, is the lamest by far. I have to go, Darren. I look forward to you joining us, but you may have to step aside for a while because I screwed up a little bit.
That is quite a discovery.
Get this. And then there's something here. Oh, it is worth gold. We should pick it up then. Anonymous pamphlet, aka Kenabres be damned. I spit on the streets of Kenabres. I spit on its granite walls and its stained glass windows. If tomorrow the ground trembles, splits apart and devours this cursed city, I will not shed one tear. No one here, not a single soul, deserves any compassion. Everyone who lives in this city is a criminal. If there was any justice in the world, every one of them would be hanging from the gallows. Prelate Holder and Queen Galfred chief among them. Ask anyone on the street what they know of mongrels. The answer will be dumb silence or the lowered eyes of a scoundrel who knows their crimes but doesn't want to think about it. Mongrels. A disgusting nickname which the residents of this city have given to the brave Crusader heroes who defeated the forces of evil. Is this yours, Lan? It's not your attitude usually. But paid for it with their health. Covered with scabs and tumours, bloated and gnarled, they were no longer beautiful enough to be tolerated. Excuse me, by the very people they'd saved. As a reward for their heroism, the city dwellers exiled them to the sewers and damp caves beneath the city. The author of those words went down here and spoke to them. And I'll have you know that the ugliest among them is more noble than all the paladins of Mendev, not to mention that head-chopping prelate and his murderous queen. So not a mongrel reigning, but someone in their favour, or who favours them. And if any pretend that today's city dwellers aren't responsible for the crime against their grandfathers, then I will spit in their faces, for the grandchildren of the exiled are still down there crawling in the mud and eating garbage. And everyone who knows about this and does nothing, and everyone who should know but prefers blissful ignorance, I say they are all guilty, and they repeat the same crime every day. And as long as this doesn't change, any citizen who desires to fight a demon should take a knife and stab themselves in the stomach, for your city has already rotted, and you are no better than the demons. And if anyone would repent and right this terrible wrong, they should turn their weapons on the prudish paladins who preach good but defend an order that flies in the face of justice. Down with the paladins, down with Prelate Holden, down with Queen Galfrey. Funny thing is, I'm not entirely disagreeing with some of the things you said. It's just you are overstating. I see something there as well.
Forwards.
There's the Terabade tent. When you gave me access to your house, what about your tent? Biggie the sausage maker. Yeah, I've seen that. This massive bed is clean and neatly made. Only commanding officers are allowed such luxury. Okay. Didn't I see another? Yeah, down here. Let's go in here. Don't think I've seen that one. Hello on the secret of the needle lens. Book the second of the astonishing exploits of Venture Captain Hylaw, published by the Pathfinder Society. A skeptical ranger followed Hylaw, who skirted the glade and cautiously surveyed the forest around them. If you're hoping to find someone here, Captain, you're wasting your time. The needle glens are totally uninhabited. A wild animal might stray to these parts, but there are no people here. Tell me, began the Venture Captain, drawing out the words. What is the secret of this place? The World Wound is a stone's throw away, but the needle glens look to be an ordinary forest. No bubbling mould on the ground, no trees that are identical down to the last leaf, no trace of demons whatsoever. The ranger answered after a long pause. I don't know for sure, Captain, but people have different theories. Some say the needle glens are cursed by forces that came to this world before the demons, horrible creatures that would addle your mind with a single look. People say that's why the demons avoid this place. They're afraid. Hylaw scoffed. His guide's tale was surely nothing but cock and bull story, but the idea of his quarry finding at the very heart of a place thought to pose a dire threat to her, well, he couldn't help being tickled by that. The Spinner of Nightmare's trail led here, to this strange wood. There was no doubt about that, but how did she ever find the way here? Hylaw fished his tracker's monocle out from the depths of his pack, clipped it open upon his nose and looked, and let out a full-bodied laugh. I can't fault the hardigan for her ingenuity. She might have changed up her nasty tricks, knowing the arsenal I carry. Follow me. The ranger scoffed in disbelief. The forest remained as much a mystery to him as before, but Hylaw's gaze, directed as it was through the eye of truth, effortlessly picked out the magical notches in the tree trunks, leading to an as yet unknown destination. Ooh. We got this. We got this, which is on the nature of divine. We've had that. We've got I don't know if we've had that. I think we have. And it's a storybook anyway, we don't have to read them all. Though it's interesting to get the lore when we do. It's Nora. Knight Commander, how can I help? There is so much I can do, just ask. Nora looks at you with eyes filled with enthusiasm. She's holding a notebook and a traveller's inkwell. Probably heard about the wound I have, the one that sometimes opens on my chest. Can you perhaps tell me if it's some kind of demonic curse? Yes, indeed, I've been told of your affliction. Nora appears at the centre of your chest. Can you will the wound to open? No, that's a shame. What can you tell me about this wound? Well, it's difficult to say. I know of blades that leave never-healing cuts, of poisons that stop wounds from healing. I've heard of witches' curses that are rewarded with eternal wounds, but wounds that seem to reopen and heal over and over? Perhaps you know of other cases like this. Let me think. In 4671, a Mendevian army corporal had all his bones and cartilage turned to glass. In 4700, a scribe in Kenabres had all her skin simply come away like she'd been boiled. And in 4638, oh, you don't happen to have any insects crawling over you? Locusts? No? Rats, perhaps? Too bad. Nora looks at you with genuine regret. Do you think it's dangerous? It most likely is dangerous, but you're under the protection of Iomade, Commander. She granted you mythic power, as they say. Certainly the Inheritor would not leave you to face this alone. Have you perhaps noticed the wound opens at moments when you waver in your faith? Perhaps it's triggered by doubt. Frowning, Nora looks at you with sincere concern. Thank you for your answers. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you anything useful. I'll be sure to study this matter and consult a few of my encyclopedias. Why don't you tell me about yourself, Nora? Oh my, I could tell you so many amazing things. And you choose the most boring of all. But you're right. All right. About myself then. Where are you from? Iska. A small piece of land that proudly calls itself a country, though it hasn't been independent for a single day in all the centuries it's existed. They have a lot of national pride, but all of it is borrowed, always looking to the great day when they can at last be free from the ruler of Chiliacs. There's Gary love talking politics. If two of them start bargaining over beets at the market, you can be sure they'll end up arguing about whether an independent Asia will be a monarchy or a republic. I've always found it funny to listen to, and a little disgusting. You see, there are a lot of us halflings in the country, but very few are citizens. Most are slaves. I was lucky. I've always been clever, and since I was little, so they sent me to school instead of making me do the grunt work. They taught me to count and write, and I was sold as a secretary to Lord Axelar Tresbot. He's the one I left Isger with. Never to return, I hope. How did you come to serve Queen Galfrey? I was a slave of Lord Axelar Tresbot in Isger, my homeland. Oh, what a man he was. He towered over his fellows like a rock over a garbage heap. A true hero. He bought me as a simple secretary, but he made me learn the history of the world wound. All of it, one volume after another. He hired tutors for me, even sent me to meet prominent historians. He didn't want a simple slave, but a slave with an impeccable education. Slave nonetheless, though, yes. Lord Tresbot was going on a crusade. He firmly believed that the servants of the good gods were weak, and only a follower of Asmodeus could stand against a demon invasion. He took me along as a secretary, a historian, and most importantly, he entrusted me with recording his glorious story for future generations. In his crusade, Lord Tresbot performed many brave feats, but even he could not stand against the world wound alone. In his final battle with the demons, when my lord realized he was doomed, his final act was to cover my retreat, so that I could tell the world of his great deeds. Some people have said what he did was not heroic, just an arrogant moron, puffing himself up one last time. But I say curse these tongues. My difficult journey ended in Mendev, where I found my freedom. There I published Lord Tresbot's biography, and I don't want to boast, but who am I kidding? Of course I do. The book sold in great numbers, and made me rather famous for a time. That's what brought me to the Queen's attention. She invited me to her court. After all, she was curious about my deceased lord, and she was in great need of an expert on the history of the world wound. I hope you'll find me useful as well. Well, you never know. So, you're not just a historian, but a writer too. Will you write a book about my crusade? Why not? As soon as we finish off the demons, I'll get right to it. Just take care that you don't end up like Lord Tresbot. Do you worship any deity? She makes a right face. When I was a slave in Isger, they would beat me with a stick to force me into believing in Asmodeus. They hit me and said it was for my own good. Ever since then, I don't like temples. It's understandable. I realize there are different gods like Drezen and Caden, who teach goodness and freedom, but it's just... As soon as I smell frankincense, I see the slave driver's stick. Maybe one day I'll be able to turn to a deity without cringing from a blow for not being reverend enough. But for now I let others pray for me. Nora's smile trembles and collapses. Nora wanted to add something, but decided to let the painful subject drop. Thank you for your answers. Now tell me about the world wound. Oh, I could talk about that for hours. What exactly is it you want to know? Tell me about old Sarkoris. It was an unforgiving country inhabited by numerous tribes of Kelly barbarians. Imagine Numeria, but without the metal mountains or the realm of the Mammoth Lords, but with a milder climate. That's Sarkoris. The country was ruled by priests of forgotten deities and shamans. It's said that even back then, before the world wound, the boundary between worlds was especially thin in that region. Since ancient times, Discari has had his claws sunk deep into the minds of the locals. His cult thrived here for many generations, or centuries even. Aradan tried to stamp them out, but in the end, of course, he passed away. How did the world wound come to be? It happened the year Aradin died, 4606, a little over a century ago. No one knows if the timing was coincidental or if there is some connection with Aradin's death. But I'll tell you what we do know. The priests and shamans who ruled over Sarkoris hated arcane magic and all who practiced it. Wizards and sorcerers were driven from the land, or worse, one of their prisons held a witch named Arilu Volesh. We know nothing about her besides her name, and of course the atrocities she committed. By some unknown method she managed to harness the terrible power of the demon lord Discari. Together they tore open the barrier between worlds and opening a rift to the abyss in the very middle of Sarkoris. The world once slowly but mercilessly expanded, devouring more and more land. In a matter of years, Sarkoris was a memory. After a moment of silence, Nora adds softly, "Sometimes I think, what did they do to Arilu in that prison? Just imagine she was ready to give herself to the abyss. If only the demons might devour her torturers along with her. To imagine such hatred, it terrifies me." Yeah, it doesn't sound like they did her any favours, does it? Tell me about the First Crusade. It began in 4622. Yes, it took the Church and the secular authorities nearly 2 decades and hundreds of thousands of lives before they decided to take action. In the meantime, Sarkoris was only supported by a handful of volunteers. By the time the crusade began, the demons had already invaded Mendev. The Crusaders pushed them back in what must have been a total triumph, seemed a total triumph at the time. The force of good easily crushing the demons on all fronts. They erected Drezen on the lands they conquered, an indistinguishable fortress, and the capital of the indestructible, makes more sense, and the capital of the Crusader movement. In 4630, 8 years after it began, the First Crusade was declared victorious. It was the first triumph of the Crusaders, and unfortunately, the last. So, the Second Crusade? In 4638, the world wound suddenly started expanding, and a new wave of demons appeared. The Crusaders were all but delighted. Last time they routed the forces of the Abyss, and they welcomed another chance to prove themselves, but this time everything was different. Instead of scattered gangs, they faced a large and well-organised army. Dresden was besieged, and the Crusaders lost all the lands they'd won back before. They had to retreat, and all that remained of Sarkoris was left to the demons. But while the monsters were devouring the unprotected lands, the Crusaders erected a chain of wardstones along the border with the Worldwound. We have Viamade and a Herald to thank for their help. It was the Second Crusade's only victory, but it halted the Worldwound's growth. The catastrophe had become a stalemate at the cost of tremendous sacrifice. And the Third Crusade? About 50 years after the opening of the Worldwound, Discari found an ally, Baphomet, entered the war, a cunning, insidious demon lord, who prefers deception to open conquest. He sets his enemies against each other, and lures the virtuous onto the path of wickedness. Traitors appeared among the Crusaders, secret agents of the cult. For a time, no one suspected a thing, even as they watched helplessly as the Crusader movement fell to ruin. Where once valour proudly stood, now greed and dumb cruelty reigned, and outrage was drowned in apathy. In 4655, the Church announced a new crusade, hoping to boost morale. They didn't succeed, to put it mildly. Some fought the demons in earnest, and for a time they even dared hope to retake Dresden. But the Third Crusade would be remembered as a witch hunt, in every sense. Inquisitors hoped to purge any cultists from their ranks of their fighters, but instead they got a barrage of denunciations, widespread suspicion, and innocent victims. It sometimes happened that two orders would denounce each other as traitors and wipe each other out, much to the demon's delight. Just 3 years later, in 4668, the Church put the disgrace to an end. Of all the crusades, that one was the least glorious. And finally, the Fourth Crusade. Of course, the demons had no intention of sitting quietly caged behind the wardstones. They kept attacking Kenabres, trying to reach the stone and destroy it, or just scratch its surface, or even, if that wasn't possible, befoul it. The Crusaders drove the demons away from the city again and again. The Fourth Crusade would last for 15 years, an exhausting study in positional warfare. The demons attacked and they were pushed back. The Crusaders went on the offensive, but were forced to retreat. And all the while, the losses were tremendous. The Fourth Crusade's only achievement was that they didn't let a single wardstone fall. They didn't retake a sliver of land, to say nothing of Drezen. So many lives just to maintain the stalemate. You can imagine how that affected morale. Yeah, not very well, I think. Thank you for all your answers. My pleasure. You just have to remember to stop me or I'll go on about it forever. I have to go, Nora. If you have any questions, come back. Now, we need to speak with Beth, who's out here. Commander, allow me to say something. Beth looks even more serious than usual. Before you, this wasn't a war. It was agony drawn out over decades. No one believed in victory anymore. When the demons attacked the city, for some it was a relief. At least the end had come. They laid down their weapons and surrendered without a fight. I felt the same thing. But I somehow got through on stubbornness and the vague hope that if nobody found Enevia's body, she might by some miracle have survived. And that miracle was you. You're welcome. You returned my beloved to me and I'd nearly lost all hope of seeing her alive again. Then you went on the suicide mission to the Grey Garrison and won the city back for us. You turned a defeat into a victory. I know it wasn't easy, but you make everything seem so effortless. You do everything just like that, she says with a snap of her fingers. The Queen believes in your powers too, but for me, they're just more proof of what I felt that day I saw Nevia alive, standing next to you. You're the miracle I've been waiting for. You're the one who will finally put an end to this terrible war, and in spite of everything, deliver us to the victory we so desperately need. With you, I'm sure this crusade will achieve what the others could not. I found a scabbard with your family's name on it in the Grey Garrison. Beth looks down. This scabbard held a solemn hour, my family sword. My father once fought with it, and I took it when I left home to become a paladin. Alas, it was not stolen, and I parted with my heirloom willingly to help someone dear to me. Nevia needed expensive healing, and having no other way to procure money, I pawned my father's sword. I think he would have understood. I'm sure he would have given up everything to help the family. I hoped to redeem the solemn hour, eventually, but there was never enough money, and soon the sword disappeared from the pawn shop altogether. I have no idea who took it. Seems like I'll have to part with my father's sword forever. Is Nevia sick? You'll forgive me if I don't go into details. It's a private matter. Suffice to say, everything is fine now. The treatment was costly, but it was worth it. Fair enough. Beth lovingly traces the name imprinted on the silver on the scabbard's leather. My parents were loyal servants, yet it wasn't enough to earn them a title or a coat of arms. Still, however humble our name might be, it is worth something. I don't know if I'll ever see Solomar again, but at least I have its scabbard back. Thank you. We need reinforcements. Can you get more soldiers? Beth frowns. When we began the march on Drezen, we chose speed over numbers. If I ordered more volunteers to be recruited, they simply won't arrive in time. We could pay majors to deliver the troops to the camp, except I doubt that our army coffers could afford it. If you can spare 7,500 coins, well, Caesar, here you go. Consider it done. So it turns out our queen has a head of counterintelligence watching me. I wonder why. You think the queen doesn't trust you? If that were true, she wouldn't have put you in charge of the army. My main task is to be your advisor until you've gained enough experience as a commander. As for counterintelligence, Anivir and I were tasked with keeping an eye on your inner circle. But you're not under suspicion, Commander. You're under our protection. Yeah, sure. Care a little about whether... I'll tell her though, because she deserves to hear it, I suppose. It's hard to believe your origin was so humble. You deserve a noble title more than many who inherit them. Her best cheeks blush a little. Thank you, Commander. It's an honor to hear that, especially from you. Every noble family begins somewhere. You must have heard of the recent story from the stolen lands in the River Kingdoms. Just imagine coming from nowhere and making it all the way to a royal crown in just a few years. Sometimes I wonder what would happen if I managed to distinguish myself somehow. But then I push away such unworthy, selfish thoughts, of course. We don't fight for rewards. The fate of the world is at stake. And yet, her best blush deepens, and she falls silent. I have to go. Says goodbye with a bow. Fine. Now let's go sell what we've picked up. Actually, is there anything else? Yes, there is something here. August Worm has been expecting you. Thumb stuck in his belt. There you are. I've been waiting. As you see, I too have joined the crusade. I don't know how to swing the sword, but war is costly, and I have money. Besides, my intellect and business sense may prove useful, even on a battlefield. It could. Besides, I believe... August shifts awkwardly from foot to foot. I believe I owe you an apology. The way I behaved was rude, ill-mannered. You're an honest and honourable person. You have clawed your way up from the bottom of society to the title of Knight Commander. And you have friends with Queen Galfrey herself. I wouldn't say that necessarily. Such persistence deserves its respect. August tilts his head in a brief acknowledgement of your merits. Please allow me to give you this magic amulet from my humble personal treasury. Well, fair enough, thank you. I'm not going to bother revealing his secret. I really don't care. And he's decided so that's fine. That's his business, his Camellia being his daughter. And I'll work out Darren myself, so never mind. Well, sir? Who's that? So you're talking to the girl hiding her face. Who was she and what does she want? I don't know, Commander. She never introduced herself. But I bet she's not a part of your army. I know all the soldiers by name and sight. Wilson frowns gloomily, his cordiality gone in an instant. She was looking for some elf volunteer. Wanted to know which tent he was sleeping in. At first, I thought she was a messenger from Mendev. She definitely wasn't one of us. But now I see how it all looks mighty shifty. Quartermaster eyes you with concern. She was some sort of spy then. Your supply does any wine shop proud. Does the crusade really need this much alcohol? Wilson smiles shyly. Don't think I'm trying to encourage drunkenness among our crusades. It's all in good fun. We're blowing off some steam. When soldiers can gather by the fire and raise a cup to honour both the living and the dead, it reminds them that life goes on. Those who drink to excess or to the detriment of their duties won't get a drop from me. There is no sight more depressing than a drunkard. Fair enough. Show me what you have. Amulet of Blackened Mirror. Hexes. Oh, ideal for our little witch then. What is that? That will go to Sealer. Don't need any of these. Won't remember to use it. Oh, I don't want to sell them yet, do I? You've got nothing on it, buy. Fine. And with that, it's time to leave. and set about the crusade proper. Commander. So you're the war chief now. You're going to lead us in to free Sarkoris from the Fae. Ulbrich nods his head with respect. Felt it the moment I saw you. This one's special. But that you'd go and get yourself a whole army in no time, I did not expect. Well, how does your newfound power feel? Has it gone to your head yet? Gonna fight demons, not Fae. Fae, demons, angels. Ulbrich screws up his face and waves his hand in front of it, like he's trying to get rid of a foul smell. They're all the same spooks. They could have stayed in their magic-y forests, happy as pigs in mud. But no, they had to peek their funny heads into the mortal world. Hold on, don't change subject, eh? What do you think about being a war chief? Feel proud, finally some much-deserved recognition. Your head is in the wrong place, war chief. He chuckles into your beard. Into his beard, rather. You think being in charge is a reward? Then you have it the wrong way around. Your queen rewarded you with constant pains in your buttocks, head, and all sorts of other places. Here's my advice to you. If you don't want to get yourself and your army killed, think less about how great you are, and more about how the people under you, your command, are firing. I don't disagree. I merely meant that acknowledging me as the leader of those people is due. Well, I didn't come here to flap my gums. Since I'm going to war and you're in charge, I'd better do this the right way. Ulbrich lowers his head and says solemnly, My blade and my life are yours, war chief. I mean, it's not like I need a blade. My talons and beak will do the trick. But saying it like that is the dumb thing. My talons and beak are yours, just doesn't have the same ring to it. In your case, I think it's better, Ulbrich. Or something else, I can already see things are bad. But the tales of all the Sarkoris burning down and its people dying out, I'm sorry, I don't believe those. It can't be true. We're not the kind of folks to be snuffed out like that. I have kin in a village not far from here. Current Glen. Let's go there and talk to them. Have them fill us in. They're smart, folks. Perhaps they'll tell us, they'll help us in battle too. Together we'll clean up Sarkoris before you can say avoid. Sorry. Aranti. Arant, okay. Foul creatures. Ulbrich bumps his fist into his palm with a chuckle of bravado. Alright, I'll go prepare for the road ahead. Take care, war chief. And he's out. Right. I think we'll wind up today with a funeral. Darren, you can drop for now. Actually, no, it's him. You've got mythic rank, and you are going to go for impossible domain. You're going to get yourself something fast. I think you're going to get yourself a leopard. Don't think I want to give it barding, so I will give you dodge. Arrow is fine. Yet another level. Now, you may find not that useful. Agile fists. Ember, you're going to use that. I'm going to wear the cloak. Olbrig, you're going to use that. Oh no, you're already using something. Sozil, you can have that. And you can have the cloak too. You have no dexterity, so I might as well give you the half plate of vigor. Oh, and since you use those, she can stop using that. Go sword and board. And you can start using it. It's better than the one without any magic. Let's make this quick. An elderly man limps toward a grave and clumsily throws a handful of soil inside. How unfair. They were all so young, they died their whole lives. They had their whole lives ahead of them. They sacrificed themselves, and an old cripple like me still lives. An elven woman with her face bathed in tears steps up to the grave. She whispers, "The painting. It burned like everything else in the house. There's nothing left for me to remember you by. Nothing." A young man throws a handful of soil into an open grave and stands beside it for a while, lost in thought. Finally, he sighs and steps back. Soziel throws a handful of soil into the grave in front of him. He takes a breath and prepares to speak, but it seems he simply cannot find the right words. The cleric wipes his tear-filled eyes, gathering his resolve, and says in a gentle voice, "I wish you a warm welcome in Shelling's realm. We'll win this war, I swear to you. We'll banish the ugliness and evil, make the world richer, and let peace blossom in it. We'll make sure anything like this." He breaks into sobs mid-sentence, and then falls in silence without finishing his declaration. "Thank you for everything you've done for us. Did you do anything? The dead are still dying. Fought honourably. I don't know, they fought at all. How long will this take? I'm just going to say nothing here." Soziel and the town people respectfully fold their hands in silent prayer. What is that? An elven woman shrieks in horror, disrupting the atmosphere of the silent morning. Her trembling hand points at something moving inside the grave. Suddenly a corpse climbs out of the ground, wafting a horrible stench from its rotting body. "It's a zombie, run!" Well, it looks like they're being pursued by more zombies.
Do not fear! Do not waver!
Actually, let's put a wolf out there. Sealer. Transform or break, you need to be in your demon form. Well, not demon form, but you know what I mean. Naira.
Away, you rascal!
Attack!
Begone, fiend!
Right. I think she's still too close there. We'll try.
Am I doing it wrong? I can push through this!
Yeah, you can. Probably you're too caught up here, though, to be honest, but never mind.
The Inheritor, guide my
You'll be back
blade.
soon.
Your time is over.
She's down.
We shall overcome.
Fall! I will bring down the divine wrath!
Into the fray!
You offend me.
Do not hold back.
Only one. Let's put a heal on.
The light take you!
Another zombie.
Stand down.
Strike as one.
Eternal Rose, I call upon you!
Well, you're done. Zombie coming in.
Away, you rascal!
Begone, fiend!
Okay, we've got more attacks.
The little more.
We're okay at the moment. We're not good, but we're okay.
The inheritor, guide my blade.
Your time is over.
With a heavy heart, Slozio looks at the corpse of his friends, returned to rest by his own hand. What is this twisted mockery? Who could possibly... Wait, what's this? He bends down and recovers something from the ground. Take a look at this. Slozio hands off a black onyx great gem to you. Once precious, this stone is now covered in cracks, falling apart in your grip as you examine the engraved Minotaur's head, the unholy symbol of Baphomet. The cleric's voice, perplexed at first, fills with rage as he speaks. Cultists. Simply murdering my friends is not enough for them. No, they had to come back to the funeral and desecrate their graves. It's like some of the townspeople are only feigning their grief. These demon worshippers are everywhere. Now I understand why the Inquisitors of Kenabres became so paranoid. Wait, the townspeople fled the undead without knowing they have a traitor among them. Whatever they are in great danger. We must find them.
Let me help.
Right, let's do some healing. Healing. Ember.
Yes.
That works.
I will guide us.
Nothing there, right. Let me out, I'm suffocating.
No challenge at all.
The half-rotten corpse woman shambles out of the crypt. She leers at you with her empty eye sockets and croaks out a few words. Thank the gods, and thank you too. I knew this was going to happen someday. They buried me alive. To break it to you, but actually dead. How dare you? What utter foolishness. Do I look like a corpse to you? No, you forget yourself. Should be ashamed to say such things. The dead Baroness wags a finger at you in a chastening manner, but cuts herself short, staring at her own hand in horror. What? How? This simply cannot be. I shan't permit it. I'm afraid it's true. I'm truly sorry. This graveyard was desecrated by a necromancer. Seems that it disturbed your rest as well. The dead woman covers her face with what remains of her decaying hands. So I died, but even in death the accursed servants of the abyss torment me. Can nothing be done? Perhaps you could lay me to rest. I quite enjoy my life in this world, but now there is no place for me here. Not in this miserable form. How did you awaken? Do you remember anything? Allow me a moment to think. Seems like it... Yes. Indeed, I woke because I heard a voice. They were reciting poetry or a prayer, perhaps. I suppose there were spells, then. It must have been your thrice-damned necromancer. And rest in peace. Thank you. Do feel free to take my burial jewellery. Those pieces are dreadfully out of fashion where I'm going anyway. Got a gold chain with diamonds, not bad, I suppose. Ah. And more stuff?
Defeat is not an option.
No glory without risk.
He's doing a runner.
Without a doubt.
They choose to stand against me?
He's down.
The light take you!
Stand down.
I can still fight.
You can't vote it.
Surrender or else!
The inheritor, guide my blade!
Attack!
Away, you rascal!
Failed you, friends.
We'll have a rest after this. Wait, looks like they're waiting for us. Yeah, they can wait longer. There's a whole squad of undead guarding the door. Maybe we should look for another entrance. Yeah, we will. But we've got other things to do right now. Don't worry about it, Sozil. Let's take on what's in here first.
Come at me, I dare you. No time for idling.
And then let's see if we can camp up here. Cannot rest here, fine.
So
Let's
exciting!
go further in. Here, maybe? Cannot rest here. Really? Why not? There's none that close. Alright, then if he's not going to let us rest.
For the beauty with your heart.
Sozil?
This war must end.
Axel, yes. Esme, 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 Axel, yes.
Right, so that's about as much as we're going to heal right now.
We march ahead.
Athletics check.
Never seen anything like it. I guess that's not how it's done.
Can you actually get up there, please?
I learned this from my grandpa.
Did you? You were bloody
Our path
useless.
leads on.
Easy.
Fine.
See? No problem.
Yeah, eventually. Spent so much time failing, we're exhausted now. Who are you? What do you want? All you have to do is die in the name of Baphomet. Have faith, you can do it. Don't you dare get away from him. Well, he's on a tear. And he saved them. He might be in trouble, but we can take care of it. This is the end of your blasphemous magic. I won't let you harm the living or the dead anymore. Do you think I need your permission? Hey you, boneback, stand up and kill. Right. More coming in from the back there. No problem.
I won't let you hurt my friends. Your time is over.
I will bring down the divine wrath.
I don't like that, you won't.
Into the fray!
He's dead.
Yes.
Gum them up at the back. Ember. Don't have much in the way of spells right now, do you, Go?
You offend me.
Yeah, he's dead now. Old Brig.
Eternal Rose, I call upon you!
The light, take you!
Let's try some Holy Light. It's only 6 points. Ember. Actually.
Yes.
Stand down.
Archer. Old Brig.
Begone, fiend!
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
There's only a few left.
too late for apologies.
You did. No, I did 13.
Away, you rascal!
Oh, I missed that one. Whoopsie.
Fall!
Into the fray!
We shall overcome.
I'll hit you! Your time is over.
It's down. And with that, I think we can just let them go. I can dispel the web. And dispel the hole. I surrender, stop, I give myself up, don't hit me! The young man in black robes throws his hands up in a dramatic gesture. You damned rat, how dare you! Suddenly Soziel becomes a totally different person. The artist's delicate hands clench into fists, while his voice comes out as a menacing roar. He leaps at the necromancer and breaks his nose with a single blow. You scumbag! I remember you! You came to our temple begging for healing just a month ago. We fed you! We shared our table with you! And you took you in! Then I don't even know what I'm going to do to you! Stop it, I surrender you! Soziel ignores the necromancer's cries of pain, punching him right in the teeth. Necromancer spits blood but continues fighting past the wild blows to his increasingly bruised and battered face. You're a priest of Shelling, I've surrendered. You have to spare my life, your goddess demands it. Don't listen to him. Hit him some more. Soziel looks at his bloodied hands in horror and pushes the battered cultist away. No, I'm human, not a demon. I must not succumb to this blind rage. He performed an action that was evil. I had absolutely no idea there was so much rage in me. It's a shame, it's a disgrace, but I must admit I enjoyed beating him. Forgive me for letting you see me like this. He deserved it. It should never have happened. Soldier wipes the necromancer's blood off his knuckles and steps away from him. You're the commander and he's your captive. It's up to you to decide his fate. I surrender. Here. Take everything I've got. Just don't kill me. The cultist turns out his pockets. Finish him, Soziel. Kill him. You can see how much you want, sir. The cleric shakes his head stubbornly. No, I am weak and sinful, but not to this extent. How would I dare touch the holy symbol of Shelling again after killing him like this? When I condemn him to death, his sentence will be carried out immediately. No, please listen, You silence the necromancer forever with a single well-aimed blow. Actually, shots, but not blow. Soldier bows his head. May the goddess forgive him, for I will not. He looks at you. Thank you for taking the sin upon yourself. No sin in it. Soldier examines the devastated graveyard, then diverts his attention to the terrified townspeople. It's all right, you're safe now. We should bury the bodies again. In this place of peace. We must not leave it desecrated like this. The townsfolk are clearly terrified of even looking at the fallen undead, but Soziel's soft words reassure them. As they work together, the graveyard soon regains its tranquil appearance. After a prayer, Soziel bows his head before the graves of his friends for the last time. May the eternal rose grant them peace at last. Let's be on our way. We have many more innocents to protect from the horrors of this war. Before we're on our way, There's things to pick up. There is something up here for a start.
I will guide us.
Just the one left. All junk that can be sold. So I don't know. Now, before we head back to camp to rest, I have one more thing I want to do. And that is deal with the military, the army. Sign a general. Recruit a new one. These can be the shy guys. Got Master Maneuver and Scorching Ray. There's that Setsuna shy. We do have more we can recruit. Footmen and archers. Let them, no, pursue them, wipe them out. Cultists and cultist fighters. Take on the cultists first. Nicely done. There's a weak army though. Having defeated a band of cultists who had driven the captives from Kenabres and made the ruins of Valor give their temporary base, the commander of the army celebrates its first triumph. Unfortunately, the demon worshippers have killed all the citizens and gathered their belongings into a huge pile in the middle of the camp. We'll get some finance points, it's something. Brimarax 3, cultist fighters and cultists. Let's take the Brimarax out first. They're down. Crusaders stumbled upon a group of ragged and exhausted scouts. They had set out on a patrol mission deep into the world wound. But then when Kenabres was attacked, they found themselves cut off and surrounded by demons. So surviving in such hostile conditions was not easy. But the scouts' spirits remained high, and they readily joined the commander's forces. Having defeated the enemy, the Crusaders scattered across the battlefield in search of trophies. The officers keep an eye on the process so that all the valuable trophies go to the treasury and do not end up in the pockets of lucky soldiers. 750 finance points. And they're out of energy. Let's rest. Well, let's sell things first and then rest. Still 3,888.
Without a doubt.
There we are. A messenger for the commander. A knight in simple armour lowers his voice. I'm the Queen's bodyguard. She sent me to tell you she's arrived at Camp Incognito as planned. Can find her where the minor nightly orders are camped. Come if you wish to speak with her. Tell Her Majesty I'll visit when time permits. Certainly. So she's in camp. We will say hello to her before we lie down. Oh, hang on. There's blacksmith. No, we need to be here. What we need to look at here is you with the spells. Copy everything he doesn't have. What is that? Oh. Let's see, hand of the governance of the inheritor. Symbol of Armaday when placed on the belt commits a holy aura. All party members in the 30-foot area get +2 bonus on caster level checks made to overcome spell resistance. Okay, I need to give that to one of our spellcasters, and I will take it. Don't need them. You. Okay, more. All good. Now, oh, blacksmith I can sell to, I guess, instead. Now, name A to Z. Don't need you. Okay, keeping all this. Sell press go as scroll. What good it'll do. Sell that. I think I've mentioned before, a lot of what I'm selling here, I'm not saying it can't be useful. I'm saying I know I won't remember to use it. Which means there's no point in me keeping it just to sit in the thing. Deal. Done. Now, let's go find Galfrey, shall we?
Forwards.
Was she further back? I don't think so. That's her
We
back.
march ahead.
She's not there, is she? No. So what about where Ulbrich is? Are they around there?
Leads on.
Yes. Queen Galfrey nods to you cordially. Her armour is plain and unadorned. As promised, I entered the ranks incognito, along with a few bodyguards. I have introduced myself as Kitrain, an old friend of yours. I am a knight, of a minor order. The Green Crows. We shall see how long it takes Anivia to sniff me out, the Queen chuckles. Why did you decide to join the Crusade, after all? Because I have a curious mind, and I am quite unable to sit and do nothing for long. The Queen smiles, but then grows serious. You ask a difficult question. I must remain as safe as possible. My death or abduction would sow the chaos among the forces. However, I am not only a queen, I am also a paladin of Eomedae. It's not in my nature to sit in a palace, when my sword is sheathed. In a manner of speaking, your request was simply a convenient excuse for me to be where I belong, crusading against demon hordes. Besides, I'm curious to see my new knight commander in action. I have a question for you as well. Why did you wish me to join you on the battlefield or on the crusade? I am falling all over myself with the reading. The prisoners will bolster the soldiers' morale. This reasonable expectation, and I like that you think about your warriors first. I don't think I need to follow any of those. May I ask a personal question? I've learned so much about Queen Galfrey. I don't care about Queen Galfrey. She's the embodiment of 4 failed crusades. But she is a warrior in her own right, and can bring morale to the others. How does it feel to have lived so long beyond all natural limits? You're over 100 years old, my queen, aren't you? Still, you sound like a prosecutor at trial. Why allow yourself what others cannot have against all natural law? That is what I hear in your question. The Queen frowns. But rulers benefit from criticism, do they not? I shall answer thus. The decision to prolong my life was not mine. It was a decision of the Church of Eomedae. The Sonorcid elixirs are paid for by the Church. The priests determined that I was needed in the dark times, both as a ruler and a chosen paladin of Eomedae. I accepted the decision and the great responsibility it entails. And I'm not going to ask about why she at least sees that I can get things done. I must go. Don't forget I am here. I'm Kitrain the Knight. Right. And you will be... Where's Ember? Nope, not that. Ember. You can have cure moderate wounds. Except you can't.
I'd like to show you a sketch. Tell me what you think.
It's not bad, but if you ask me, I think you've made it too flattering. Too bad you can't redraw my ugly mug for real to make me look like this handsome guy.
Right, and that's where we'll end it for today. I'll see you tomorrow when we will head further along the World Wound.
Thanks for watching, for being around, for every message, reaction, all the joy we found. To the quiet, the loud, the sharp and the sly, you're the reason I'm leaving with my spirits high. So hit like, leave a word or tap that sub. If you laugh, cry to mock my stuff. Every click helps the channel grow, lets me keep on with the show.